In the city of Port Harcourt, there lived a beautiful lady called Ifeoma. She was a university student and she was just 18, fresh-faced and full of dreams as she stepped into her first year at the university. Like many her age, she had stars in her eyes and a heart brimming with hope. She was excited by the world unfolding before her, a world where she could be anyone and achieve anything. But as they say, not all that glitter is gold. Ifeoma was soon to learn this in the most chilling way. Now, Ifeoma was from a humble background, a modest family that valued honesty and hard work. Her parents had worked hard tirelessly to put her through school, and she promised herself she would make them proud. Yet, within her, Ifeoma had an unquenchable taste for the good things in life, the luxurious things, and in her new university environment, she was surrounded by those who seems to have it all. The designer clothes, the latest gadgets, and cars that roar like lions on the streets. Then, one fateful day, Ifeoma's eye fell upon a young man named Kelechi. Oh, Kelechi was something to behold. He was one of those boys who commanded attention the moment he walked into a room. Tall, handsome, with a way about him that made you feel he owned the very ground he walked on. And the way he dressed, he draped himself in the finest clothes, and his gadgets were the newest model. His phone never with the glint of the latest iPhone, something that instantly caught Ifeoma's eye. At first, Ifeoma simply admired him from afar. But one day, as fate would have it, Kelechi approached her. He was charming, with a voice like honey. He had made Ifeoma feel like the most special girl in the world, and so they began to spend more time together. The other girls envied her. Here was Ifeoma, a simple girl, dating the most eligible young man on campus. What luck, they thought. But Ifeoma, she saw it as a blessing, a door opening to the finer things in life. Weeks turned into months, and Ifeoma's birthday drew closer. She couldn't contain her excitement. Her friends would tell her, "Oh, Kelechi must be planning something big for you." And indeed, it seems so. For you see, Kelechi began to shower Ifeoma with gifts, lavish gifts, things she had only dreamed of. There were designer shoes, luxury perfumes, and finally the crown jewel, a brand new iPhone 15 Pro Max. She was overjoyed. It was the kind of life she had always wanted. But pause, there was something she had overlooked, something crucial. In her delight, she never stopped to ask herself where Kelechi's wealth came from. She never questioned the source of his endless stream of money. For Kelechi, you see, had a secret, a dark, terrible secret. One day, on the eve of her birthday, Kelechi invited Ifeoma to his place. "Come, my dear," he said, "spend the weekend with me. I have a surprise planned for you." Overcome with excitement, she packed her things and went to his apartment. Thrilled at what lay ahead, she felt so lucky, so loved. Little did she know that this would be her last night on earth. What a sad story. The night wore on, and after a lovely dinner, Ifeoma grew tired. Kelechi suggested she go to bed early. As the next day held more surprises, she drifted off into a deep sleep. Her dreams filled with vision of all the gifts she would receive and the luxurious life she thought she was stepping into. But at the stroke of midnight, as the clock ticked in the silence, Kelechi crept into the room. His face was shadowed and his movements were deliberate. He carried with him a string of beads and a pouch filled with strange powders. You see, Kelechi wasn't the ordinary wealthy student she had thought he was. He was bound by a dark covenant, an unholy pact that required a sacrifice. And tonight, Ifeoma was to be that sacrifice. He approached her, his hands tightening around the beads, his heart steady as he prepared to take her heart. But fate has a funny way of intervening sometimes. Just as he was about to carry out his dark rituals, there was a noise, a loud thud from the apartment next door. The sound startled him. He paused, fearing he had been heard. For the first time that night, he felt a twinge of fear, but he knew he had to finish what he started. His deadline for the ritual was near, so he quickly completed his dreadful task, then wrapped her lifeless body in a blanket and placed it in a trolley. The night was dark and his heart raced as he pushed the trolley through the quiet campus, headed towards the ocean where he would dump her body. He had done this before and thought he would get away with it again, but there is something about evil deeds. They rarely stay hidden for long. Some of the university's young security guards happened to be making their rounds. They spotted Kelechi struggling with the trolley, and the sight made them suspicious. Why would anyone be moving a trolley around the campus in this dead of night? They approached him and asked what he was doing. Kelechi tried to laugh it off, saying it was just some old clothes he was throwing away. But one of the guards drew closer. He noticed a pale hand peeking out from under the blanket. The guard froze, his eyes widening with horrors. He signaled to the others, and before Kelechi could escape, they had him restrained. When the police arrived, the truth came out. They uncovered the dark secret behind Kelechi's wealth, the unspeakable ritual he had been performing to maintain his luxury life. He had lured Ifeoma like many others before her, all to feed his insatiable hunger for wealth through the most terrible means. Her friends, who had been worried about her sudden disappearance, were devastated when they learned the truth. They had believed Kelechi's lie when he claimed he hadn't seen her in days. The story shook the university, and Ifeoma's name became a cautionary tale, a warning for those who are tempted by the allures of material wealth without understanding its source. And so, my friends, that is the story of Ifeoma and the gift of deception. A young girl who paid the ultimate price for trusting blindly and for desiring a life that glitters but was bound in darkness. Remember, not all that shines is pure, and sometimes the price for luxury is far too high. Wow, this story is a very exciting story. My final words to everybody: stay vigilant, for evil often wear a handsome face and a sweet smile. It's such an unfortunate story for this to happen to Ifeoma. Thanks for watching this video. Kindly subscribe to my channel, like my video, and share my video to as many people as possible. See you in my next episode.